What the fuck, Patreon? I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Now, I've discussed this at length on my podcast, mainly because that's where most of my patrons on Patreon support the channel. Is, they get my podcast. So obviously, if you are a patron on Patreon, you've already kind of know that this is coming. But this video is for everyone else who might not know what the fuck's going on with Patreon, and mainly, and why I give a shit. There's been a string of people getting deplatformed from Patreon, mainly alt-righters or right-wing motherfucking conservative, who gives a shit? But every time they deplatform one of these motherfuckers, they're sending a pretty clear message that at any time, if somebody doesn't like what you're saying, or if you offend somebody, that Patreon is willing to shut you down. They're taking it upon themselves to be the thought police, not just on the platform itself, but the reason why this latest controversy is so scathing is because the offensive comment, which was, I believe, was Sargon on a white supremacist fucking podcast, called them the N-word. So the context there is he's trying to insult them. Probably not the brightest, smartest way to insult somebody, especially if you're worried about offending people at all, which I don't get that impression from him. But the fact is I never fucking heard of this guy. And all of a sudden, I'm losing patrons on Patreon because of something he said on some obscure podcast 10 months ago that suddenly Patreon has decided we are removing you without warning, like literally before Christmas. They did this, right? And I've been thinking a lot about it. I've followed the case. I've heard a lot of talk on the subject. I've read transcripts between Jacqueline Hart, which is the head thought police over at Patreon, who probably is the one that brings the executioner's axe down on your fucking neck if you say something offensive outside the platform. And I'm really having a problem with this corporate fucking grab of power over people. First of all, this is for if Patreon is watching this, anybody from Patreon is watching this, you work for us, all right? I am employing you to facilitate a transfer of funds between people who want to support my channel because they like what I say and do. I don't give a shit if Patreon likes or says what I do. If I say something stupid or fucked up, people just won't support me. It is not your decision to do that. It is the individual people who want to contribute to the channel. It is not your place to do so. And the only reason I use your service is the subscription model is a pain in the ass to administer on your own. Now, as many of you know, you can go to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and contribute directly to me. You can also send things via snail mail. I maintain a mailing address. At the end of each of my videos, there's credits with a mailing address. I don't need Patreon. And quite frankly, I get more income from my website than I do from Patreon because of the podcast and because of people going there and just, when they feel like it, throwing tips in the tip jar instead of the subscription model. And, imagine here's a scenario for you. Say you're going to work, right? And then somebody filmed you with their iPhone saying some fucking offensive shit to somebody else. And that somebody else went to your job and tried to get you fired. And then the people at your job like you do good work. They don't have any problems. They don't give a shit what you do on your own time. But then they go to your bank where your paycheck's direct deposited and they try and get that banked. And they say, see, he said this. and then that bank decides to cut off your fucking pay right there and not give you your latest paycheck back and still collect the money. This is essentially what Patreon has done. How pissed off would you be at that bank? Would you use that bank in the future? Would you put your financial middleman in charge? This is a very sensitive position. You're handling money that I'm earning that people are donating. You have no say in my brand. And they even went so far as to say you can call them and ask for fucking permission to say shit. Oh, you can consult us. You can, if say you were going to go do something or say something on Twitter, you can call us and make sure it's okay. Fuck you, Patreon. And any company that feels that they have the moral authority to dictate what the fuck I say and do. Now, I say fuck a lot. I piss off a lot of vegans here and there. I do things that could be considered by some to be offensive. So when's the time where they come for me? And you want me to promote your platform via all of my other platforms that I utilize so that people will send money to me through you, where you take a nice, healthy little cut off the top, and somehow you think that that gives you authority or a way to be a boss over me? Fuck that shit. Now, you can Google this, just look on the YouTube search as Patreon Purge, and you'll see all the drama in its entirety. I'm not going to regurgitate all of the same fucking videos that many people have already fucking posted. I'm just going to say, yes, I'm going to take the financial hit, and within the next 5 days, I will be shutting down my Patreon. So if you contribute to my channel through Patreon, I'm sorry to say, as much as it may be convenient to have that subscription model, and I understand if you don't want to move over to ScottTheTruckDriver.com to continue contributing, I will be offering discount podcast packages going forward to make up for the fact that I'm getting rid of Patreon. But I've already kind of forewarned you in the podcast, but I just want you to know, first of all, if you haven't come to Patreon to contribute to the channel, don't go now, because it's going to go away. It's going to shut down. And I am pretty much willing to take the hit on this. I can fill in the gap with my other incomes. Plus, I've been very busy with clients lately, so I'm actually doing pretty good on the business side of the house as far as my photography and videography business goes. So I don't need Patreon. And I'm not going to build a following on Patreon or a support base through Patreon if they're going to keep doing this shit. Because not only does it, there's always that thing in the back of their head that they could take you down at any time. And it's even in their user agreement that at any time, for any reason, they can take you down. I'm not disputing their right to do that. I'm just saying, if you're a fucking business that specializes in being a middleman for money, maybe you should just shut the fuck up and move the money around and not give two shits what the fuck we're doing or try and control what we're doing. It's not your fucking job, and it's not a service I'm going to fucking promote. I'm small apples too. There's bigger fish than me that are just completely pulling. They make like $14,000, $20,000 a month or some shit, and they just pulled their shit completely the fuck out of there and said, fuck you, Patreon, and they went off and did their own alternatives. Mostly people are doing it through their fucking website, so... which I've already started this. This isn't my first problem with Patreon, because they fucking did a price hike on people, didn't tell anybody, fucked a bunch of people that were only donating $1 per creator, and, as a result, I lost patrons for something I had nothing to do with. And it's the same with this Sargon bullshit. I've lost patrons that I had nothing to do with anything I did. It was what Patreon did. They basically banned Sargon, and apparently the contributors that were fed up with it did not agree with that decision and removed their support, not just from me and from all the other creators that particular person was supporting, because they just didn't want they couldn't stomach the idea that Patreon was going to continue to make money while making these very, very shitty decisions. And I'm not going to base my channel on any of that. I'd rather fucking make videos for free than support a company that fucking has that business policy. So that's it, Patreon. You done fucking, I gave you 2 chances. You fucked up with the price thing last year, and now you're fucking policing your creators, and you've got, forbid that I say anything fucked up or I slip and make a mistake, not just on my YouTube channel, mind you, because Sargon's thing was completely off of his channel. For all he knew, he probably didn't even know he was being recorded, and so what happens if I'm out and about and somebody films me saying something that pisses somebody off on their iPhone and posts it to their YouTube channel, and then 10 months later, for no fucking warning or nothing, you cut? Fuck that shit. I'm not going to promote and build something on that shaky ass foundation, not to mention the fact that I don't agree with you doing it to other people. At all. I don't care how ignorant or how far off. I don't agree with Sargon. I don't agree with my old whatever the fuck his whatever the ass is. Lauren Southern, I could give a shit, honestly, what she says and does. To each their own. They're entitled to their opinion. They're entitled to share their opinion. And if you don't like their opinion, don't fucking listen to it and don't contribute to them. But there's this whole fucking movement to control everything by fucking, deplatforming people, silencing people. And the more you do that, the more people are going to push back. And it's already happening. There's already people trying to develop an entirely new fucking platform to compete directly with Patreon. And to a lesser degree, there's implications that PayPal and MasterCard are also doing this type of activity, trying to police people that they don't politically agree with and deplatform them. The biggest, most fucked up case is Alex Jones. Now, I fucking hate the guy, but I don't know that it was, every platform on the fucking planet's job to shut him the fuck up. The people would have shut him the fuck up. Let the people decide. Let the market decide whether these people are successful or not. And you can see the market work in the past for people that have done really egregious, offensive shit. Their fucking careers end. Not just because they've been deplatformed, but because nobody wants to watch their movies or listen to their music or buy their shit. We the people are smarter than you give us credit for. So if somebody pisses me off, I'm obviously not going to support them financially or otherwise, or even watch their shit. The market has a way of doing that. If I make shitty videos, people stop watching, people stop contributing. It is not Patreon's job to tell me what to do, where to go, what I can and can't say, at all. YouTube has guidelines I follow very loosely, but I stay well within them. And, they honestly are running a smarter business model than Patreon. Now, I can't defend everything that YouTube does, but I can tell you that they've got more business acumen than these fucking platforms, because the quickest way, even if you're at the top and you own the large segment of the market, which Patreon does right now, so does PayPal, so does MasterCard. But the minute you overstep your bounds, people will pull an alternative out of their ass and found it. You're basically creating a market opportunity for someone. And if you think this is the day and age where people aren't going to jump on that shit and make shit tons of money because you suck, then you are mistaken. And that's just a ridiculous fucking thing that they've done this, and it has cost people who have nothing to do. Like, you got art channels losing patrons over this bullshit. You've got musicians losing patrons. You've got people that have no dog in that fucking political race or this outrage culture race to losing financially because of Patreon's bullshit. And I'm not going to stand for it, and I won't support a platform that does that. So Patreon, fuck you for fucking up. We can't have nice things anymore. That's really what it boils down to. We just can't have nice things. So I'm going to stick with fucking YouTube's. And yeah, they take more money. But at least they aren't fucking deplatforming me. Not that they haven't deplatformed a fair amount of people over the time, but I think they're more content just to demonetize the ones, and that's fine. You know, that is entirely different. You know, taking away someone's ad revenue because advertisers, brands do not want to associate with a particular creator, I understand that. But that is a lot different than coming in between people who want to financially support that creator and making it impossible for them to make a living, just stating their opinion in many cases. And that is where I disagree, along with some other deplatforming things that are an alarming fucking trend going on right now in our culture. And I'm a freedom of speech advocate. I do not believe that even the most stupidest motherfuckers with the most ignorant fucking opinions should be silenced. I want those motherfuckers speaking loud and clear so I know who they are, and I don't need to support them, and I don't need to do any of that. You know, this is a move I'm doing because I do not trust Patreon, not because I like Sargon, not because I like any of the people that have been deplatformed in the previous year. And I'm doing it because, A, I get hit every time one of these people gets deplatformed, because you alienate all their patrons and supporters who aren't going to stop liking them just because you don't, and will pull their patronage from other creators, because there's a lot of people that donate to multiple creators. And they're just going to pull right the fuck out because of your stupid shit. And then people get this collateral damage. And they even went so far as to take down Superstar, some other fucking competing platform with Patreon. You know, PayPal pulled the rug out from then, alienating a bunch of other creators that had nothing to do with this political shit, and essentially removing their incomes completely. And, you know, it's bullshit. All right. So I'm sorry I had to make this video. It's something I've been thinking about for a good 3 weeks now on what I'm going to do about this. Do I continue to send people to Patreon to contribute to the channel and sell my podcast via that platform? And honestly, no. And I won't put it on iTunes either, for much the same reason that they choose to police what you say and do, to the point where they will take you off the platform if they don't agree with you. And I won't support a platform that does that. I can make my own platform. I can, you know, if I have to go back to old school, please just send me fucking donations through my mailing address. You know, what happens next? Is the fucking UPS or the post office going to say, "Oh, we won't deliver mail because we don't like this motherfucker"? Are you fucking serious? Our bank's going to be like, "You can't open an account here because we don't agree with you. We don't like you." You know, is that where we're headed in reality now? Is that what we want? Because that is a double-edged sword that you can cut yourself with if you don't fucking pay attention and be careful. Because every one of these weaponizations of these platforms could easily swing another way. You know, you never know when you'll be on the wrong side of the outrage crowd. And it doesn't matter whether you're a lefty, a righty, a centrist, an anarchist, a libertarian. It doesn't fucking matter. Somebody is offended by you somewhere. And do you really want to empower those offended people to come between you and money that you earn doing your creative works that people want to support you to continue to do? And I would say, if we live in a world that turns to that, we are well and truly fucked. So, as for me, ScottTheTruckDriver.com. Going forward, I pay for that platform. I have the website. I will always have some means of contributing to the channel through that website. And even if the channel goes down, if I get deplatformed from YouTube, I will post videos directly to my fucking website. I don't care if I only get 10 people viewing it, because the message is that important, that I, talk about nutrition, health, and lifestyle. And I see a lot of people getting helped by the things that I've brought to their attention. And I'm not going to quit that just because I can't make money doing it. And, I'm still making an okay, not what I used to, but it was a good few weeks as far as video traffic subscribers. I've hit 9,000 subscribers. Thank you to those who congratulated me on ScottTheTruckDriver.com. Dave and MSP came out of the woodwork and said, congratulations on 9,000, motherfucker, and gave me a nice contribution, a nice tip for that. So, I'm happy with you guys that contribute and support my channel. And I know that this kind of sucks because I'm taking away an easy option to do so. And I understand if that, as a result, you won't contribute anymore. I just can't stand by, even if it's going to hurt me a little bit financially, I'm not going to support a company like Patreon, by using them as my go-between. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care if I was making 20 grand a month through them. I would still shut it the fuck down and move as much as I could to my own individual platforms. And if you are a creator on Patreon, I would seriously be evaluating that, because even though you might not have a horse in this race, someday someone else is going to trigger them. They're going to deplatform them, and then a bunch of patrons are going to bail. People who donate to many different creators are going to be like, fuck this shit, and they're going to be out, and you're going to be out the money. And it's going to be like a wave that you're not going to really see coming. One of the things people like about Patreon is it's a reliable paycheck. You know roughly what you're going to get every month, and you can actually budget according to that. It ain't, it's not that safe. It's not that controlled to where you are sure that income is coming. Just ask Sargon. And he had a wife and kids, and that was pretty much, from what I could tell, his major source of income. He didn't diversify the way I've suggested in the past. So, that's where I'm at with that. What the fuck do I know? Speaking of contributions, if you guys stayed around long enough, I did get some mail over the holidays, and this is the first opportunity I've had to open it. So this comes from Helen, and I am opening it right now just to go to show. See, imagine if you were doing this through Patreon and I pissed somebody off, then you wouldn't be able to send this shit. So, anyways, what do we got here? We got Keto Brick. What is a Keto Brick? Fuel for Life. All right, what do we got? It's 16 grams of carbs. The serving size is 1 brick. So this whole fucking thing is a serving. It's pretty cool. 12 grams of fiber, so it's about 4 net grams, 31 grams of protein. This might come in handy for backpacking. Now that it's 1,000 calories, if it tastes good, I would consider this as a good backpacking item. Obviously, it's processed. I'm not seeing the ingredient list here. Oh, there we go. Raw organic cane butter, plant-based protein powder, which is not, it's vegan? Is this vegan keto? That's pretty cool. Nutrition chocolate, mocha flavor, so it's chocolate, so it probably tastes good. It's got stevia in it, so it's sweet. That's good. Yeah, I might keep this for my backpacking. Do they expire? That's a good question. Monk fruit extract. I will say the monk fruit does something to me digestively. I recently had, monk fruit instead of my stevia in my coffee, and I had some weird bad gaseous anomaly come up. So it's good to know that that's in there. Won't stop me from using it for backpacking though, because backpacking you just got to get your calories in, and sometimes carrying fucking beef jerky just gets old really quick, or cheese curds after a few days go bad. So MCT oil, fiber, more fiber, some fiber, and more fiber. So, yeah, the main thing I am checking for is that there's no grain. There is brown rice protein, so I am concerned there. That's one of the things I look for in anything that I do on keto. I am still carnivore, so I can't even eat this yet, but I will be returning to keto and reintroducing foods over time. So thank you, Helen, for sending those. If you wanted to send me shit to try out for the keto diet or so on and so forth, you can send it to 4736 Onondaga Boulevard, Suite 150, Syracuse, New York, 13219. And those will be nice survival items to have when I'm out there in the motherfucking woods and shit. Other than that, I'll be trying to crank out one video a week. It's a struggle right now. I do have a lot going on with client work, and I'm literally driving Uber right now because I'm trying to build funds because I did some camera upgrading for my videography, and, you know, it costs money. It costs a lot of money. So I got to fucking earn extra money. So in between Lyft rides, I'm fucking filming this video, and it's probably an easy edit too, so I'm not worried about it. But like I said, I'm going to still try and film. That's why I got this run and gun system set up to be able to film anywhere, anytime. Because you guys seem to like my talking head videos. You have spoken. I've noted that my channel views went up, my subscriptions went up, everything went up after those last couple talking head videos I did. So I know what you're here for. I know what you want me to make, and I'm still going to do my fun stuff, but I'm getting back to doing the talking head videos that you guys seem to want me to do the most. So there'll be plenty of talking heads with occasional other shit mixed in. I am looking at starting a few other channels so that I can fill my need to create other shit other than talking head videos. So that's in the works. We've already kind of started a joint channel, me and a friend of mine who is a filmmaker, writer, director type. And so we're thinking of doing that. I'll promote that here once it's ready to go. But yeah, there'll be more channels, I think, this year. That's one of my resolutions, is to come up with I want to do a photography channel. I want to do a cinematography or short film channel, which we've already kind of started. But that's more of a joint channel, and, you know, and it'll all just be when I can. You know, I can't really commit to making shit tons of videos, so those channels probably won't ever fucking grow. But I'm going to keep doing my homework. I'm going to keep doing these self-experiments. There will be a long water fast coming. I haven't figured out exactly when I want to do it yet, but I do know that I want to do maybe a 7 to 14 day, depending on how I feel, of course, pure water fast. I haven't done a pure water fast in a while, and I feel like I need to clean up some shit. I don't know. I need to heal a little bit. I want to see if I can make a dent in that leaky gut that I have and shit. But remember, I'm not a fucking expert. I'm just a fucking asshole. Please like and subscribe for more fucking shit, and I'll make more shit. If you found this video entertaining or enlightening anyway, or I saved you money from going through Patreon, head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and leave a tip in the virtual fucking tip jar. Or if you want more content, the video wasn't enough for you, I have a weekly podcast. I'll be recording a new one tomorrow. But every Friday I sit down and I produce a podcast before I go work my other job. And I post it there. It's $5 a download. I will be looking at doing like little packages of 4 or 5 podcasts at a discount. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet, or how I want to structure that, but it is coming, and it will be coming very soon once I stand down Patreon, which will also be in about 5 days. I'm going to turn off Patreon. So thank you for those of you who have supported me through Patreon. But I'm done with Patreon. I cannot put up with their shit, and I appreciate, and I'd also, if you were one of the people that left Patreon based on this bullshit fucking decision that they made and will continue to make and double down on, I completely understand. I do thank you for the time that you spent supporting me there. And for those of you, some of you on Patreon have weathered this storm multiple times with Patreon. And, you know, there's a few of you that have been on there since I started the Patreon site, and you haven't stopped at all. And I definitely appreciate, you know who you are. And, you know, this channel wouldn't have grown to where it's at today without you all supporting the time and effort I put into making the videos and keeping this channel going. So I appreciate yous, but fuck Patreon. I'm done with Patreon. I ain't going to put up... Even if they somehow right the ship, I can't trust them at this point. This is the second time they done burned us. And, I'm not going to fucking build, a house of cards on the shakiest fucking foundation platform on the fucking internet right now. Just saying. Have a nice motherfucking day. And shit. Fucking. I wonder how long before the fucking thought police come after my ass. Will I be deplatformed from the entire internets? Is that a thing now? I don't know. If you leave it up to the vegans, I'm pretty sure that'll happen. At least the evangelical vegans. There's actually some vegans that like me. I don't know why. Have a nice motherfucking day. And shit.